Hey, welcome to episode of Chad's Reviews. I just realized I have the tripod backwards. Trying to get it. Yeah, there we go. Trying to get it flat. Alright. You know why we're here. So anyway, tonight's beer review. Haven't had this one since 2014. So 8 years. Bell's Cherry Stout. I don't know if I did a video review of it back in 2014, probably. Leo wants to say hi. You want some beer? I don't think you like it. So, I never knew that this was so strong. I thought this was like, this is 7% ABV, but the problem with this bottle, this was bottled on October 20th last year. So it is like 9 months old. But 7%, I mean, so it's not exactly an imperial, but it's not exactly a, session table beer either. So, what have we got in the glass here? I was a little disappointed. It had that dark, brown foam, but it fizzled away like a root beer or Pepsi or Coke or something like that. Real, black, super dark brown body. This is the entire bottle in here, so nothing else to top off there. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely cherry puree. I think they say they use cherry juice in here, so it's not, so it's not cherry puree, it's just, they're just using a liquid. It says, Ruby Black, this stout's signature tartness comes from cherries grown in Michigan's Traverse City region. Warm, dark chocolate notes come together with the cherries in a mysterious dance to create one of the cornerstones of Bell's Stout portfolio. And this is actually under, in the BJCP style guidelines under a fruit beer, this is one of the commercial examples. So if you're studying for BJCP, this is a good one to pick up. So anyway, let's get back into it, yeah. So definitely a, red, dark red cherry aroma to it. I will say it does not smell like sweet, it doesn't smell like candy, it doesn't smell like some kind of cherry, extract syrup flavoring or anything like that. And I can smell the base stout in there. In fact, I think because the bottle is so old, the natural cherry character has probably faded, and which is really bringing out the stout base. So, 7%. Maybe in England they consider that an imperial stout, but it's, pretty standard in America. Yeah, so nice dark roasted malt, a bit of a black licorice, maybe dark chocolate or toffee, maybe. Definitely that deep, roasted malt character in there. So anyway, let's dive in. Cheers. Yeah, what I said with the aroma is that it's same thing on the flavor. There is cherry there. It is like a nice kind of tart cherry. Damn it, Leo, you can fur all over the place. But the cherry, what should be front and center, has really faded to a background note after 9 months. And who knows how good of a job Total Wine did taking care of this bottle. I will say that dark cherry flavor it matches with the stout base quite nicely. Like I said, with the aroma, like a black licorice flavor. You wouldn't think so, but that cherry flavor and that black licorice flavor, and plus like the general kind of chocolate roasty notes you tend to get with stouts, they're all working together pretty well. It is not super tart. As I just went back and checked my Untapped review, and last time I had this in 2014, I said, "Wow, this is like super tart." And I think they actually made a point of saying tart cherries on here. The stout's signature tartness. but I would not call it that tart. What they should do, they should do a Brett version of this. That would be really interesting. Take a stout with, like, when you have a tart fruit like cherry, and then you can make it even more tart if you did a secondary with Brett. That would be really interesting. Yeah, now that I'm like halfway through it, like that cherry has like really faded, and like what's left is basically a pretty standard American stout without the hops. It's not a super hoppy beer. It's not quite as rich and roasty as I prefer. I think one of my problems is that I always kind of judge a lot of beer, especially stouts and IPAs. I always kind of compare the more table strength beers to the imperial beers, because like you get like tons and tons of flavor out of imperial beers. So I'm like, where's that flavor that I'm gonna get like in a Marshall Zukov? But you can't really compare a 7% stout to like a 12-13%. Mouthfeel it's actually kind of light. Well, relatively speaking, I'd probably say it's like medium light body, fairly low carbonation. I think that's the low carbonation is making me think that the body's lighter than it is. It does not feel syrupy or sticky or thick at all. I will say for a cherry beer, it does not taste like cough syrup, which is good. I remember reviewing Sam Adams Cherry Wheat years ago, and I was like, oh, this just tastes like cherry cough syrup. I have to go back and find that review, man. That's going back a ways. But yeah, this tastes like real authentic cherry, which is nice. The only problem is because the bottle is so old, the cherry flavor has really faded. Although this would be a good, again, if you're starting to become a BJCP, this particular bottle would be a good one to really showcase what happens with aged beer, and like, you know, why, you know, I mean, if it was like a 14%, you know, okay, you could let that age for 9 months, but you know, only 7% and, you know, a fruit flavored beer, you want to drink that, you know, pretty fresh. I would not call it, it's not nearly rich and decadent enough to like really be a dessert beer. In fact, because the cherry has faded on this so much, you could just, it's just a regular drinking beer, or you could do this like with your dinner. Any kind of red meat I think would be fine. I thought that'd be an interesting pairing. Like if you had like a savory like steak or burger. Sometimes like, you know, like that contrast going from, you know, like the savoriness of the meat to the fruitiness in the stout, it might actually bring out that cherry. What's left of it. So I'm a little disappointed in this one, but mostly that's due to the age of the bottle. It's not like, you know, the what was the last beer I did where it was supposed to be a chocolate bomb, the heavy seas. Yeah. This beer at least has flavor. It's at least drinkable. That one I think I only got like 2/3 of the way through the bottle, and I just dumped the rest after I finished the review. This one I will finish, but I will say, like, it's not, this is a good beer. This particular bottle is just not that great. So I'm probably gonna go like, honestly, I'm probably gonna go like 3 1/4 on this one. Maybe 3.5 out of 5. But when this is fresh, well, according to BJCP, it's a 50-point beer. Well, actually, they didn't actually say that. They just listed it as a commercial example of a fruit beer. And I will say it's nice to see what, you know, it's nice that you can do fruit with a stout without it being like a gigantic beer, you know, or bourbon barrel aged or something, anything like that. You know, usually when you think of fruit beers, you think of like 4, 5, 6%, you know, blonde ales with blueberry or something like that. So, yeah, Bells, if you're listening, do a wild version of this. I think that would be awesome. Remember, what's that Pennsylvania brewery? Weyerbacher. They have a chocolate cherry Brett beer that I did a couple of years ago for the American Wild Ale style. So yeah, that was really good. All right, so I am rambling, going super long. Watch all of you, and you're awesome. Oh, by the way, I am having a colonoscopy a week from tomorrow, and they said you can't drink a week out. So no more beer reviews for at least a week, maybe 10 days, maybe 2 weeks. We'll see. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in a couple weeks. All right.